In this video, we got Erica Kurt looking crazy, gas prices damn near hitting $6, Area 51, earthquakes, anomalies everywhere. Man, this world is insane right now. Take a look at this. Look how she's looking. Who captured this? And did I hear a fart? I can't. I need a background story to what's going on here. Look at it. She's looking straight at your soul. I already know Drewski's about to do something crazy. On this next topic about Area 51, I went down the rabbit hole yesterday. I was trying to get it out to you, but it happened too late. But here it is. Take a look. A thorough deep dive. What is everybody saying? Yeah, so I guess Area 51 is hit with over 17 earthquakes.
Could this be a warning that something is possibly about to go down or happen that we will be fully unaware of? And why do I say that? Because over the past 24 hours, 17 earthquakes hit near Area 51. You heard what I said. 17 earthquakes in the past 24 hours have hit near Area 51. And on a magnitude scale, they weren't that small. You had a 4.4, a 3.7, a 3.3, a 3.2, a 3.1, and a 3.0. And most of them came back to back.
What the hell are they testing down there? They getting ready for liftoff down there, aren't they? Something trying to break free.
And keep this in the back of your mind. Area 51 houses one of the most secretive military zones in the world. So the question should be asked, why is the ground shaking near Area 51? And once again, this is the same place that is tied to alleged alien sightings, alleged UFO sightings, alleged underground bases, and alleged underground experiments as well. And also remember this Area 51 is the one place that the majority of people believe is hiding something big that might be able to explain it all. And one thing I will say, all of this activity within 24 hours is just not normal. So I guess my question to you is, what the heck is actually going on near Area 51?
There have been 17 earthquakes near Area 51. It started with a 4.4 magnitude quake just 2.5 miles underground. The area is normally not prone to earthquakes this shallow, and it's leading to theories of nuclear testing or even UFOs, because it all happened after President Trump said this.
Do you have an update on the UFO files and when we're going to be seeing them?
Well, I think we're going to be releasing as much as we can in the near future. They want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material, and we're going to be releasing a lot of things from that we have, and I think some of it's going to be very interesting.
Joining us now to respond, Dr. Stephen Greer.
Beam me up, Scotty. How long are they going to lead us on? Forward already. Tell us the truth. Isn't that movie Disclosure Day coming out, or did it already come out? I don't know. I do want to see what they're going to show us, but it's like, damn, we got so much whiplash. Ain't nothing in Area 51 y'all need to know about. And then they come forward telling us, oh, we got some more stuff to tell y'all. Just tell us already. Show us some real samples, not that paper mache stuff y'all tried to pull over in Mexico. We trying to see something in a tube breathing. Y'all in the comments are saying y'all are confusing the earthquake with underground testing.
Joining us now to respond, Dr. Stephen Greer, UFO researcher in retired position. Great to see you, doctor. So are these earthquakes just a version of burning the files at an embassy when people got to get out?
Well, yeah, the thing that lights up in my mind is that back in the
What type of question was that?
1990s, I briefed a man who worked and designed a security apparatus at some of the facilities out there, particularly the ones up near Groom Lake and Pahute Mesa. And he explained that on the top of those complexes underground were like bunker busting type bombs, but underneath them were thermonuclear devices, so that if anybody was getting close to those facilities, and by this, it could even be the legal government of the United States, they could collapse those facilities. No, I don't know that that's what happened, but I know for a fact those security systems are out there. So that's one consideration. Now, it could just be a cluster of earthquakes, or they could be doing some legitimate underground testing out in that region.
Yeah, there are a lot of mountains out there, so earthquakes are not out of the question.
I keep telling y'all something is about to happen, and nobody is paying attention. You just had some very important people saying that they believe in 2027, aliens are gonna make contact with Earth. And now, over the last 24 hours, 17 earthquakes hit near Area 51. And they weren't small earthquakes. 4.4 magnitude, back to back. Now you gotta ask yourself this. Why is the ground shaking on one of the most secretive military zones on Earth? The same place tied to alien sightings, underground bases, and classified experiment. You really
This is about to hit the fan.
think that's natural? Then we still have 15 scientists either missing, no explanation. Now connect the dots. For years, insiders in high level
Some people messaged me and said, Chuck, they got giants in them underground basements.
officials have hinted at things that they can't fully explain. We're talking about crafts the size of football fields, objects moving in ways that don't follow human physics, stopping in midair, accelerating instantly, and then disappearing. You gotta remember that this is Area 51. This is the place that people have believed for decades is hiding the truth. Recovered technology, non-human intelligence, things they don't want the public to ever see. Now ask yourself, earthquakes shaking the ground, scientists disappearing. What if they're moving something? Or better yet, what if they're activating something? What I will tell you is, this ain't normal. I'm out.
Well, this definitely ain't normal. Oh my goodness, this was filmed on season 1 of episode 2 SVU. Now I have to go back to that episode and see if that was actually there. What were they trying to tell us exactly?
These spiritual beings, such as Baal and Moloch, which they still do ceremonies for today, such as in Bohemian Grove, there is a giant effigy, stone effigy of an owl. That's the god Moloch. The god Moloch goes all the way back to Rome and Carthage, in which they were all to this god in exchange for power.
Like when people mention Moloch and Baal, like how one is supposedly like some type of creature with horns and this one's supposedly an owl. Like it kind of reminds me of the Egyptian deities, you know, how they're different creatures as well. Could these all just be genetically modified experiments or fallen angels? There's some type of underlying pattern here I can't really put my foot on with all these genetic hybrid creature deities.
And then they will do your bidding, but you end up paying a terrible price for it. You end up losing your soul. And in fact, the groups that work with these entities invariably end up being destroyed, and that is written right into their symbolism, the symbol of the eagle. The original American bird was not the eagle. Benjamin Franklin wanted to be the phoenix. The phoenix is the symbol of the cabal. Why? Because the cabal must be burned to ashes, seems to be completely destroyed, but it keeps arising and reincarnating from the ashes. It comes back. So part of their religious belief is that in order to get their New World Order, they must be publicly exposed, they must for their beliefs, they will appear to be wiped out, and they actually believe that these extraterrestrial gods that they've been contracting with all these centuries are going to return, and they will be glorified. They will return in light bodies, and they will actually now be the rulers of the earth. So this is part of their religious belief.
This is why they got rid of all the bells. This is a parasite, and that's literally a video of a parasite being killed with frequencies. Do y'all remember in Nazi Germany after World War II, they destroyed so many freaking bells. Like you can rarely see bells out there just ringing anymore. Do y'all remember the Venom movie where, because Venom is a parasite, he was inhabiting, I forgot the dude's name, but they were inside a church bell, and then Venom started going crazy and coming out of him because of the fact that that frequency was ringing, right? I want y'all to watch this clip from They Clone Tyrone, a movie so full of subliminals, so full of hidden in plain sight. Just watch this. Watch this, look. This is like an underground tunnel, right? They're experimenting on people. They're playing rap. They're fighting.
Yeah, that's true. If you listen to a song, knock if you buck, knock if you buck, to the windows, to the walls. You know, you feel like doing something listening to that music. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine how the females be feeling after listening to that Sexy Red and that, what was it? I don't know the names. Ice Latte or something spice. If I get done listening to some NBA Youngboy or something like that, that music makes you want to do something. So the fact that they put this in the movie is crazy.
It's crazy because they're putting it right in our face, y'all. Do y'all remember when XXXTentacion did that entire interview? I think it was like 2016 before he passed, where he said he uses a different frequency of music, right? A different frequency of music because the main music industry uses a certain hertz to keep you in a depressive state. So he decided to use a different frequency of music. And a lot of the time, the frequency that he said that he used, you will find it in meditation music. You will find it in Christian music, like worship music. This is wild, right? Let me ask y'all what kind of angel Lucifer was in heaven. An angel of worship, right? And y'all wonder why he rules the music industry? Y'all wonder why he tells them to keep things a certain frequency? Like, I know this sounds very progressive, and as a person that follows Jesus, I am very careful with the new age stuff, but this just makes sense. Music is so freaking powerful. And like, this is why I work so hard to cut out secular music because you bring in bad and you're going to expel bad.
I think it was a while ago where you can even play music in reverse and it'll say certain things. Drop your thoughts below. I love a good beat too, you know, the future, and you know, I get it, you know what I'm saying? But listen to what they actually be saying though. If you guys thought that was the only crazy stuff that's going near Arizona, wait till you get a load of this next deep dive.
Pyramid Lake is part of an ancient water system called Lake Lahontan. So this is Lake Bonneville in Utah right here. This is all of Lake Lahontan. Look at how much of western Nevada that covers. And then check out California and all of California down there. That was all marshland going all the way to the ocean. So Pyramid Lake has been home to the Paiute people for literally thousands of years, and they even have an amazing creation story related to Pyramid Lake. This rock formation is called the Stone Mother, and it definitely looks like a woman with hair or in a hooded robe, and this is supposed to be her woven basket. The story goes that the first woman of creation came up to this valley. She came up to the north. She actually killed a giant on her way up to the north. And then when she got here, she married and had a husband. Her husband then had children with her. And then her husband took the children and they went across the valley. And then her husband went up into the stars and up into the sky and became like a star being, and sent 2 of the children to the north, 2 of the children to the south, and then had 2 of the children stay to watch over their mother.
My question is how did she slay the giant? I feel like there's a little truth hidden in all stories, you know? Like, where do the stories come from?
And the Stone Mother, the legend is that she would sit by the banks of Pyramid Lake, and she would look at night and she would look across the lake to make sure that her children were okay and that their campfires were lit. And as she sat and waited, eventually she noticed that the campfires didn't return and her children didn't come back. But she sat and continued to wait. And as she waited, her sorrow grew so deep that she began to cry, and her tears became all of the water of Pyramid Lake. She's still waiting to this day, looking for her children, which is all of us. And the children that stayed and waited for her are the Paiute people who are still there to this day. And that's her, and that's her basket, and you can still go there and see her.
I can see how people could say this looks like a woman. You can see her face, her cheekbone, her mouth, her chin, and then her actual hair, and then this basket. Is it really a basket though? What if it was a dragon egg and a dragon popped out of that thing and hatched? No, I'm just playing. Or could it?
These ancient petroglyphs around Pyramid Lake are 15,000 years old, which makes them 10,000 years older than the pyramids in Egypt. Some of them look like fish bones or plant life. Some of them look like fish scales or big diamond patterns, or they could be like big dragon scales. Again, just look at how much some of these features and early depictions of this lake look like there would have been pyramids here. And the Stone Mother does kind of look like the Sphinx. But some of these petroglyphs that look like big serpent tails or dragon tails are really interesting because that ties into another Paiute legend. The story goes that a Paiute man came up to Pyramid Lake and he fell in love with a mermaid that was in the water at Pyramid Lake. And he tried to marry her, but then when he came back, he realized that she was ugly. And so he decided, he was like, no, you are ugly. I'm not going to come back here anymore.
Damn, that took a left turn. Again, is everyone making every single story up about mermaids?
And then she revealed her true form, and she wasn't actually a mermaid. It was instead some kind of a lake monster or big dragon serpent living in Pyramid Lake that was pretending to be a mermaid that had deceived the Paiute man. Also, in ancient times, indigenous people, when they had a pregnancy or a baby born with defects or deformities or premature, oftentimes they would be disposed of or tossed into the lake, which led to the legends that the lake is haunted by what's called water babies.
This just keeps getting darker and darker. That makes my heart hurt thinking about that.
Every year in the spring, it was like a ritual. They would go and in the lake, and now every year in the spring somebody in Pyramid Lake. That's not strange enough. Sometimes when people Pyramid Lake, their bodies disappear and then the body turns up clear down here in Lake Tahoe, and vice versa. When people go missing in Lake Tahoe, somehow their body turns up clear up in Pyramid Lake. Which goes back to our theory at Devil's Hole that makes us wonder, is there some kind of an underground aquifer lava tube system that connects all of these big ancient lake systems all the way across Nevada and possibly all the way out to the ocean?
That doesn't make any sense, like some type of underground whirlpool or something. That is a terrifying mystery.
When you look at Pyramid Lake and Lake Tahoe, it is in a straight line on that ancient path that would have connected right here to Monterey Bay, which is where John Lear said in our previous video, where he said submarines could go access in all the way and go underneath California and come up into secret naval bases in Nevada.
Is that so?
When I was doing research on Pyramid Lake, this image also popped up. It was a Google image search of Pyramid Lake that showed this strange feature with all of these weird lines. Now, this could just be visual aberrations, like a defect on the lens, because when I went and looked recently, I zoomed all the way in and all over the lake and it looked totally normal to me. And yes, Pyramid Lake also has legends of a giant or a giant ogre. In fact, the Paiute and the Washoe tribe had a special pact or a treaty where they allowed the Washoe tribe to go hunt fish on Pyramid Lake, specifically because they helped the Paiute hunt and get rid of giants that were guarding this lake. Can you imagine just being an ancient Paiute with giants, dragons, mermaids, water babies, all this stuff going on? What a wild time to be alive. But I think the story of the Stone Mother is so beautiful. I love the ancient history. I think these rock formations are so fascinating. Let me know down in the comments below, have you been to Pyramid Lake? And what other strange locations across Nevada and Utah should we talk about next?
That was an extremely interesting and terrifying deep dive at the same time. You gotta ask yourself, do these structures look normal? Could a pyramid once be here? Have you heard about Pyramid Lake? What do you think about that terrible water baby story? Is this a giant petrified woman? What type of underwater vortex is at Pyramid Lake where when they're seeing bodies wash ashore in Lake Tahoe allegedly? This folklore is for entertainment purposes only, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Have you heard of this cryptid encounter by a U.S. soldier during the Vietnam War? In August of 1969, during the midst of the Vietnam War, there were some US Marines in Da Nang, Vietnam that came out with a crazy encounter. Essentially, late one night, there were a few Marines on guard duty outside of their camp in what was a seemingly normal night so far. Then at around 1:30 a.m., Marine Earl Morrison sees a very strange figure in the distance, and what they assumed at first was some sort of giant bat, because that's really all they could see. As it got closer, it looked more like a woman with wings. Primary testimony by Morrison reads, "It looked like a woman, a naked woman. She was black, her skin was black, her body was black, the wings were black, but it glowed, it had a kind of greenish cast to it." After kind of hovering and stopping just above their heads, being so close that it blocked out the moon, so close to them that they could hear her wings flapping, she eventually just kind of stared for a while and then left. They reportedly watched her for a good while after that, and she didn't really necessarily bother them. And in a later, slightly more extensive interview with Morrison, he revealed the wings were slightly furry and she had straight black hair, and it almost seemed like the wings were molded to her arms. Now, entertaining this story as real, I've seen quite a few different ideas about what this thing could have been. I've seen some people say it was like an angel of death type thing, which would make sense with the war going on there.
First thing I'm thinking is a succubus. Did these men run across the succubus?
In the account, oddly enough, it wasn't necessarily malicious. It was just kind of an observer. Very strange overall. Have you heard of this cryptid?
Or maybe it could have been one of those giant fruit bats.
Over the Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan, a tourist captured a photo of what seemed to be one object. Upon closer inspection, there were actually two. Another tourist filmed that same first object from another angle, showing it speeding off at incredible velocity, just as described in the original sighting.
When did they let people actually walk on the top of Teotihuacan? Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it, Teotihuacan. But I thought you couldn't walk up there. And then they see a UFO on top of it? What if it was the ancestors just trying to recharge?
Don't look over here. Please don't look over here.
Oh no, as soon as that thing started running, man, I would have went the opposite direction he's going. These serpents look alive, but they have been carved in stone for centuries. Location, Bali, Indonesia.
Discovered in the early 2000s, deep within the overgrown jungles of Bali, Indonesia, these massive serpent carvings appear almost frozen in time. Etched directly into the riverbanks, the coiled serpents and Naga guardians stand watch. This mysterious site features a variety of intricate figures, but it is the serpents and dragon-like creatures that astonish the most. The site is believed to be several centuries old, yet its exact age remains unknown. Discovered in the early 2000s.
Add that to a bucket list. Stone serpents frozen in time. Man, I thought these gas prices was a little high. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Are gas prices hiking up where you're at?
How about there it is? Come back! Look at them trees in the road, man. Now back up, man. Back
up! I love horses. I would go to an event like this. I would participate. Get a horse and actually be riding them. I call them Hyosticles. Yeah! If you guys got experience with horses or own some, drop it in the comments below. We'll love to hear your stories with them. Gas prices going up. I don't know if it's true there where you're at, but gas prices is damn near $5 a gallon where I'm at. I don't think gas prices been that high since what, 2011? Let's type it in. All right, guys, this is a monthly chart of gas prices. Look how it just skyrocketed. You know, all this crazy stuff that's going on, gas prices going crazy. I'm not a finance guy, but I wonder what the stock market is doing. Definitely some plays, probably. I was reading another article saying that now isn't the best time to buy homes. It's not a buyer's market or a seller's market. It's just stuck in the middle. A lot of people don't see themselves buying a home in the next 5 years. And I guess like 30% of Americans just do not see themselves ever getting a house just by how crazy these prices are. You guys tell me what you think is about to go down. What is the state of things right now? Now, I'm not sure what's going on here, but I'm terrified. This is what my nightmares consist of. I see it now, chasing me with the balloons, getting closer and closer. That tiptoe through the window music starts playing. And right before she spins and grabs me, I wake up and full of night sweats. Speaking of terrifying places, would you go down this hole? Wait till you see what's inside. It's kind of giving Squid Games vibes, isn't it? Me personally, I'm gonna need some more light or some more people down there for me to go down there. By yourself? Oh no. If you thought I wasn't going to hit you with another excellent specimen today, think again, bucko! If you're new around here, we rate these specimens 1 through 10 and give it a name. I know what a lot of you guys are thinking, but I can't say that. This show is not for kids, but I do respect that a lot of my viewers have kids and they may walk across the screen, so I try to edit out all the curse words and all the crazy sayings as much as I can. But y'all know what this look like. But I'm gonna call this Petrified Forest of Greenery. That's the name of this specimen, Petrified Forest of Greenery. Be sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. Code word is Area 51. Till next time.